So, good morning everybody. Myself Acharya Vishvendra. As I was explaining the difference between successful and unsuccessful students. So you can see that there is a difference between successful and unsuccessful students. Successful students accept responsibility for their failures, whereas unsuccessful students blame others for their miserable life, for their poor performance. They'll often blame teachers, coaching institutions, exam systems, situations, books, this and that, but they will not accept their inability to cope up with the exam environment. So that is the difference between successful and unsuccessful students. Now here is a optimal performance curve. Then when you increase the stress, then performance increases up to a certain level, and in that particular graph there is a certain region which corresponds to the optimal performance, and beyond that, if you increase the stress, then performance decreases instead of increasing. So the entire turning point is the concept of optimal performance or working at your optimal speeds. So that winds up the chapter number 1. Let's start with chapter number 2. It is about requirements for cracking a competitive exam, that what you need. So cracking a competitive exam is a three-dimensional thing which requires information, process and energy. So information is given to you by the books. Then there is a source of information, as you can see over here, but you need to use mind maps for information. Just the thing is that you need to store the information which is given to you in your mind-brain system. There may be many sources of information like the books or any YouTube online or video or any offline teaching. There may be many sources, but the challenge here is to store that information in your mind-brain system so that you are able to retain that as and when needed in your test. So next is the process. So suppose this is the process, a stepwise process. Now another thing is that, as I already explained, that information access, as I already explained, there are about 6,000 of A4 size pages. So you need to access information from any of the page. So just like here, there is a particular question which requires accessing a particular information to solve it. So the trick here is to access information from any of the 6,000 A4 size page, and that determines your success in competitive exam. That is the actual challenge which lies in preparing for the competitive exam. So you also need to update the information as and when needed, because when you are preparing, sometimes you need to add new information. So there is a process of information updation also.